all of our Davos conversations, we've been talking to top corporate voices from India, and I'm speaking with MD and CEO of Axis Bank, Amitabh Chaudhry. Amitabh, you're a Davos veteran. Something different in the air this time, and is it all talk about Donald Trump?
Well, firstly, thanks a lot for inviting me here. It was always a pleasure. Yes, I think Mr. Trump has been dominating the headlines since he has taken over in his second term. And I guess he started off or ticked off Davos with his, intention to impose more tariffs on Europe. So a lot of attention around that. And he'll be here day after, so hopefully we'll see more action. But end of the day, as I heard the previous speaker speak, the Davos is all about dialogue. Work does not stop. Challenges don't go away. Yes, people are facing temporary hiccups around, what might be going on geopolitically, but end of the day, you have a business to run. And all these businesses and global corporates are here. They run businesses across the globe or in their country. They're very large, and you have to keep focusing on that and still manage all the challenges that are thrown at you. So in my mind, the mood in Davos is pretty positive. I mean, everyone is just looking forward to as to what some of the new technology is doing, how this dialogue can be enhanced to a different level, how do we manage this crisis differently, how do we transition from people doing their job in a certain way now in a new way, and so on and so forth. So I'm quite delighted with the, firstly, the huge presence in Davos, and secondly, the kind of conversations that are happening.
Luckily, you run a business which is in that sense Trump-proof. It's domestic-facing, financials, good set of numbers this quarter. Growth continues, but can the growth sustain as interest rate lowers, margins continue to be squeezed across the sector? What's the outlook there?
So, well, we're in a silent period, so I can't talk much about the future, but let me just say that we have declared our deposit and advances numbers, and what Axis needs to do on a more consistent basis is to deliver quarter on quarter and give no surprises. We've had our quarters of surprises. Last quarter, we had some surprise around PSL. Now I've seen some banks being also asked to do something similar. Our name starts with A, so we tend to be higher up on the order in terms of RBI inspection, but that's the way it is. And obviously, when I talk about consistency, it has to come in the form of growth. Both deposits and asset side has to come in the form of our credit costs in terms of how we are expanding our various businesses. We've been working very hard to ensure that happens, but I think we have still got some distance to cover.
Deposit growth, you think will be it's a pain point last few quarters across the industry, and also part of it in a larger picture because people have more options on where to keep their money, etc. Do you see that continuing as a trend?
So, deposits going from retail investors or retail savings customers to wholesale because investing in the market all comes back in the system. So that is not leading to a slower deposit growth. It's just the form of deposit changes. I think what is leading to a lesser growth is obviously RBI had withdrawn liquidity. Now they talked about durable liquidity, but we have seen periods where RBI has intervened in the market, so that has sucked liquidity out of the system. Government has become very, very savvy with managing its money. Government is also sitting on large cash balances. Again, that sucks money out of the system. So in that sense, deposit growth has been a bit anemic. I think RBI is fully seized of the matter because at the end of the day, credit growth can't come without the deposits. And deposits also come because credit growth happens, right? So it's a bit of a vicious cycle. So in that sense, credit growth has started picking up. Good news. RBI has stated again that they will provide durable liquidity. Good news. I think government obviously will start spending. You've seen that in the last couple of quarters, government has been working very hard to get the reform program back on track. They did the GST, big change. They did the tax benefit, and they continue to talk about some of the reform process. They've set up empowered committees to look into it. So my view is that the GDP forecast for this year looks good. Next year, I think IMF has released the numbers, but my view is that it will be better than what IMF is forecasting. So generally good news around, and hopefully it will feed into the deposit side. But the progress is slow, and so let's see.
Any concerns around asset quality in any segments, or you think some of those things are in the past? We were seeing that with exporters because of the tariffs, SMEs, etc. Just a comment on that.
So on the exporters, yes, obviously some sectors of the economy which are very focused on US have partly got impacted, but I think they have found ways around it. They have found other markets, they have found other customers, they have found countries where maybe they can export to who could be re-exporting to US. So we have managed that tariff problem till now decently well. Retail credit costs did spike up over the last 8 or 10 quarters. That is definitely stabilizing and turning the corner. In many cases, if you look at the numbers, you'll see that the costs are actually has started, sharply going down. As far as the wholesale side is concerned, the credit costs remain benign. SME, people were worried too much of growth too quickly. NBFCs are entering the space, but till now, at least the banking sector has not seen any real signs of a problem. We need to keep watching, but overall, I would say the credit costs are trending in the right direction.
RBI has allowed finance for acquisition financing. Is that a space which is exciting to you, considering you already have some footprint there?
We are the largest syndication banks for both loans and debt.
Footprint,
and acquisition financing was something which was left for the only foreign banks. So now they've allowed us to, finance up to 75% acquisition value, obviously within certain guardrails. Yes, it's a positive. Hopefully, you will see more and more acquisitions happen in India, and we can now provide this particular product also to our customers. We have asked for some more clarifications from RBI on whether we can finance significant minority stakes. Can we, bank unlisted companies? Can, this is part of the overall capital markets exposure, and they have capped it. Can something be done there? So RBI hopefully is looking at some of these requests and will come out with some modification to the existing guidelines.
Just one question on wealth management and the focus there after the Citi acquisition. Is the transition of that kind of clientele been easy or difficult, or how has that really gone?
See, acquisition of any kind is never easy, but I think we've done a pretty good job in terms of ensuring that the transition goes smoothly, both from a customer, people, and product standpoint. So yes, we have become the third largest wealth management player. Now we are looking at the next stage of transformation. We have started a program internally to how do we make wealth much bigger than what it is? How do we use technology very differently? How do we bring AI into the whole scheme of things so that we can make our wealth managers that much more productive? How do we cater to various segments of wealthy clients? So all that is being looked at as we speak, and it's a very important focus area for us, and we will continue to invest in the wealth management business going forward.
We're speaking a few days ahead of the budget. What are the expectations there?
I hope fiscal consolidation will continue. The finance minister has been very committed to it, and so that will happen. Already a lot of concessions have been given through the middle of the year, so I'm not expecting some big concessions, but I would hope that the government will continue to look at ways and means of supporting big spends, also spending themselves, supporting the MSME sector, because the PLI scheme has benefited the large companies, not the small ones, some kind of credit enhancement schemes for MSMEs. And also, I think India has to start answering a fundamental question in a much bigger way than before. We have to have much more spending on R&D and creating global brands than what we have had. And government has a role to play there. At least, if you look at the percentage of GDP spend on R&D, it is way, way lower than what other countries have. I think we need to start solving that problem in a very different way than what we have done. It's not the government has not done anything. They have come up with various schemes, but I think we need to up the ante to a different level.
Okay, absolutely. Last question, and one which we actually started with, since Trump is the big theme at Davos, and I don't know if you get a chance to meet him, but if you could say one thing to Trump, if you did meet him, what would it be into the camera?
Oh, well, I hope you'll not listen to what I have to say. I think the world, given that it's a superpower and a lot of the countries around the world look up to U.S., I think a bit of a stability in how U.S. looks at the world, and a bit of stability in terms of how they're acting, reacting, positioning themselves would be really helpful. I think there's just too many changes happening too quickly, too sometimes randomly, which is, I think, creating a bit of a chaos. Avoidable.
Thank you, Amitabh. That was fantastic. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Thank you.